Hello everyone and welcome again to another episode of our tutorial series, the Unity Beginner Guide, learning the basics of C#. I hope you are doing good, I hope you are having a beautiful weekend, and I hope you are enjoying your days. If not, I hope it will be better, guys. So in this episode, we are going to see something different from what we did in the last episode. So in the previous episode, we've seen how to use the loops, right? The for loop, the while loop, the do while, the switch. Check those episodes if you didn't see them. They are really helpful and they will help you understand more of those upcoming episodes. Now in this episode, we are going to see another type of variables that I didn't explain before, and it is arrays. Now I left arrays until this time because we needed to learn about the for loop before we use it, the arrays, because the arrays combined with the for loop will give us access to a lot of stuff. Now let's go ahead and create an array. To do this, all we have to do is really easy. We give it the type of the array. So in our case, I will just give it an int, but this is the difference between creating a variable and an array. When we create an array, we give it the type, but we add a bracket to the type, just like this. It means that I want to create an array of the type integer, and here we just give it the name. In our case, I will give it our array, just like this, and we give it the value. Now to give a value to our array, we don't just write something like this. No, we need to do it like this. So we write new to give it this new what? New array of type integer, and we open those like this, and you put and you put a semicolon just right here, and inside of those brackets here we need to write the size of our array. I mean how long this array should be. So in our case, let's just do a simple example and give it 5. So our array will have the length of 5. So we have 5 cases in our array. There is another way to declaring an array. In this time, I am going to do another integer of type array, and I will name it the array, just like this. And I will do again new int of type array, of course, but this time I will not write the size of my array here, but instead I will do this like this. It means that I am not going to give it just the size, but I am going to assign values to the cases. So this time I will just give it values, like let's say something like this, like this, like this, something like this, and something just like this. Now what is the difference between those two declarations here? The first one, in our case, so in our array here, we created an array with 5 cases, and they are empty. There is no value inside those cases. Those places, they are empty. It means by default they equal to 0. And the second one here, the array, I created an array. The size is the same, it's 5, because I have 5 values here. As you can see, I have 5 values. It means I have the array of this size 5, and it have 5 value. It means they are not 0, but I have value inside of them. This is how you can declare an array. You can even create an empty one, like in our array, with just the size of it, or you can create a full one just like this and giving all the values that you want inside your array. Now how we can fill an array value? I want to put a value inside our array, right? So to do this, you need to write the name of your array, and you open the brackets, of course, and inside those brackets we are going to write the index. I will put a picture to show you what does it mean. So imagine that we have this line with 5 cases, right? With empty 5 cases, and on top of those cases we have the index. So the first block, the index is 0. The second one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have 5 cases, it means we have 5 index. But index in C# doesn't start from 1, it starts from 0. So the first case, the index of it is 0. So it means if I want to put any value inside my hour array in the index in the first place, it means I will need to give it the index which is equal to 0, and here I can have any value that I want. Let's say, for example, let's do something like this, just something different, just like this. And here I did put 35 inside the first placement in my array, and you can do this however you want. So you can even open another one, and let's say this time I want to store it in number 3 and give it any value that you want. Let's say something like this, and you can even go and give a value to the first place. Again, it doesn't matter, because the index that you leave empty will be equal to 0. So let me just keep it like this, so just to show you that the other values will equal to 0. Now, how we can read the value of an array, right? So let's do the old ways that we always do in all those tutorials. We are going to print in the console the values of our arrays. Okay, so we are going to do this. How precisely? You can't just do a debug.log just like this. You open it, and we always, what we do, we give it the name of the variable, right? So I will do this our array, and we open those. We need to give it the index of what we want to see. So let's say in this time I want to see the index number 3. It means I will show in the console the value of my our array in the index number 3, which equal to what? To 65. So if I save my code here and I go back to Unity, and if I print this like this, we should see here 65. As you can see here, we have 65. It means that I printed this value here. Now, what if I want to print all the values of my array in this at the same time, right? So you can do this. You can do this debug.log and print every value one by one. But there is a way that we can do it quickly, and it is to use the for loop, just like this. So here, when we create a for loop, as we've said before, the for loop will be looping and executing the same line of code until we reach the maximum value, right? So in our case, let's do something like this, or let's do it like this. Okay, so I created this for loop here. It's for int I equal to 0, I is less strictly than 5, I plus plus. Inside of it, I will do a debug.log again, just okay, if I can just write just like this. And here I want to show the value of my our array, right? So I will do it like this, and to print the index, of course, we need to open those brackets here. But this time, what I'm going to write inside this one here, let me see if you can get it. Did you get it? Did you get it? We are going to write here the I, just like this, and I will close this. So as we've seen in the for loop, the value of I will change every time we increase the value of I, right? So the I value is 0, and when we loop again, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it reaches 5, it will get outside our for loop, because the condition here is I less strictly than 5. So what does it mean here? In our array here, it means that we are going to show the value of the index that will be changing every time. So it will change. We will show the value of the index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I save this code, what we supposed to see in the console, we should see 35, 0, 0, 65, 0 again, because we have a value only in the index 0 and the value only in the index 3. Sorry, this is just a message in my phone. Sorry, it didn't bother you guys. So I will save and I will click play here, and here we are going to see 35 0 0 65 0, exactly as I said will happen in the code, because by default we didn't assign any value to the index 1 and index 2 and index 4. It means we will have 0 in all of them. This is basically how you can create an array, how you can assign a value to it directly, or how you can assign a value to it manually if you want, and how you can print the value of your array. And we are going to see in the future how you can even use this for loop to store the values in your array. So I hope you did enjoy this episode. I hope you did like what we are doing right now. We are about to finish this beginner guide, guys, and so just 4 or 5 more episodes. I will see how much we have to learn, and after this we are going to make a simple 2D games, making a conclusion to everything. But I hope we are going to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this beginner guide, so we can do like a 1,000 subscriber Unity 2D game, stuff like this. I hope you subscribe if you do like what we do, like what if you do like what we do, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.